Hey, welcome to the Video Marketing Made Easy podcast, where we believe that video is the most powerful way to monetize your message, stand out in the market, and grow your business. I'm Josh Crandall, and today I'm rolling solo. So usually we've had Dallin Need on board, the CEO of Content Supply, and I'm just flying solo today. So let's do this. Yeah, so in this podcast, we talk about practical strategies that help you grow your business with video. So if you struggle with growing your audience and getting the word out about your product or service, we're here to help. Our website, videosupply.com, you can go there and there's many tools. There's a lot of content. There's training courses that you can use to better prepare yourself to be a content creator and to create your own video products that will help to monetize your message and help your brand stand out. So today's podcast, we're talking about non-for-profit videos. So wanted to talk about what's similar to the commercial side of things and what's different, and then what you can do to use video successfully in your not-for-profit business. So whether you do your marketing yourself, or you have a full-time content creator, or you hire a supplier or an agency, this material should be applicable. It should be relevant. And so why talk about nonprofits, right? So a little history about where I'm coming from, and where we're coming from in this podcast is Dallin Need, who as I said, usually joins me in this podcast. He and I actually. He's actually moving today, by the way. So, and I'm moving today, so this is why I'm in a different setting, than I have been in all the other videos, in the process of finding a new home. So, that's where Dallin is today. Anyway, so why not for profit? Dallin Need and I, we actually met each other in college. He was going to be working on a feature-length film with an idea that he created with local lore. And me being one of the locals, thought that it would be kind of silly or kind of a ridiculous topic. So I actually went to check things out and went to a casting call almost as a joke, just to see what it was all about, and then realized that it was a lot more detailed and in depth and prepared and scripted than I had expected, and it actually was pretty cool. So I ended up acting in Dallin's feature-length film a long time ago. So anyway. After college, we teamed up on a number of commercial projects, or even in college too. While we're in college, we worked with a number of clients, and then afterwards, we teamed up on some commercial projects and worked with each other there. And then also after college for myself, Dallin, he worked in kind of a more commercial sector, and then for me. I went pretty not-for-profit, actually. That's just kind of the opportunities that presented itself to me. And so I've been in the not-for-profit realm for, almost 7 years. After college, in 2014, I was the video manager for adoption.com. I was there for about 6 months when then I got called back to a videographer position that I held as an intern in the Los Angeles County Fire Department. And I worked there about a total of a year, and I guess they're more public sector versus nonprofit, but a similar organization, and worked there for about a total of a year, so the fire department being a public sector, it's kind of like a not-for-profit. I think a lot of volunteer departments are actually not-for-profits themselves, volunteer fire departments, that is. And then after that, I kind of networked into the Underwriters Laboratories Firefighter Safety Research Institute. So UL, or Underwriters Laboratories, who, they do a lot of product testing and making sure that products are safe to go in your home. They have a not-for-profit section or a group of sections, and one within that was the Firefighter Safety Research Institute. And I was recruited to be the full-time marketing content developer there. And while there, I had the opportunity to, do a lot of experimenting and creation within the realm of, the promoting the organization, promoting fire safety messages, promoting research to help better improve the tactics and decision making of firefighters on the fire ground. So I myself, I've worked for the better part of 7 years in not-for-profit, in the not-for-profit realm, which has been amazing. So not-for-profit realm really gives you a lot of opportunities to work with that aren't really typically found in a more commercial setting. But a lot of the same things apply. So I really wanted to talk about, what's the same, what's different, what can you do to leverage video marketing in your not-for-profit. So yeah, fun fact, there's about, I think 1.5 million or so not-for-profits in the United States. I think upwards of 11 million people work in a not-for-profit organization within the United States. And obviously, if you're a not-for-profit, you understand that a lot of them are funded by government grants or charitable donations. And, they're obviously not geared towards pulling a profit as a business. But, they may act as such. So a lot of them secure those grants in order to pay employees for a purpose. And that purpose, whether it's, whether it's mission driven, so like Underwriters Laboratories, firefighter safety organization that I worked with, they were very mission driven. And that mission was to improve the knowledge that the firefighters had to understand the tactics that they're employing to better reduce injuries and deaths in the fire service, but then also in the community. So that definitely a mission driven organization there. But a lot of not-for-profits can, raise awareness. They're there to, better help the public in general. So those, it really opens the door for creativity. You're not really nailed down to a specific goal of, hey, everything that we do has got to drive the numbers, right? Got to drive some profit. So that's been really neat. It was really neat to work with a organization for so long that was really geared towards creating a better living and working environment, which is what UL does. So, so let's talk about your brand as a not-for-profit. As with a commercial entity or commercial business, you should really brand yourself that you can stand out. You need to be unique. You need to be able to have a powerful message, and you need to be able to convey that message because you need to be relevant in your space, right? And so I want to talk about how to go about doing that. Later, we'll talk about our process of planning, producing, and then promoting. And those 3 steps will help you to really stand out and become a powerful voice within the realm that you are. So if you are, if you're focused on making a big impact or change, you need people to buy into your mission or ideas. And, what better way is there to do that than producing videos, right? And it's such a powerful medium that is used in really all aspects of marketing. But specifically, I think it's very powerful in the not-for-profit realm. Now, why is that? So, as I mentioned before, I worked with adoption.com. I only worked there for about 6 months, right after college. But really, it was a good entry into the not-for-profit space. And at adoption.com, we primarily told stories about adoptive parents, as well as people who are placing their children for adoption, and really connecting those dots and showing their adoption journey. So like I said, those 2 audiences were the birth parents looking to place their child for adoption, as well as the hopeful adoptive parents. And in speaking to them, that's an audience that I think sometimes they find themselves in. It's not really not a lot of people plan to obviously place their child for adoption, and not every couple who wants to adopt, has made that decision based on their desire to adopt. A lot of them, they realize they cannot have, children of their own. So it was a unique way to, to share our message at adoption.com, because, it was kind of a challenge to share how is the right way to speak to these audiences, right? And we found that video storytelling was the right way to connect everything and make everything work. With the creation of these videos and telling these, hopeful adoptive parents or these birth parents, helping to tell their stories or to show that process that took place in order, and how they found each other and the outcome and what that life looks like and how it varies from, having children of your own, a more normal process. The video storying was hugely impactful. And that's because it broke the barriers. It showed the relationships between the couples, between the birth parents, and the children placed for adoption. And you can really open people's eyes into an issue there and how others have gone about making an impact through adoption. Video storytelling can really, hold somebody's hand into the next step of the journey, right? And it shows, hey, here's what you might be scared of, but here's how this person did it, and here is this outcome. And you can do this too, right? And so it was empowering in a way. And so it was really fun to work with adoption.com and to go out and interview, families who had adopted, or interview the children who were placed for adoption, or even the birth parents, and to really connect all those, pieces of the puzzle and show that, hey, this is how it works, right? Like, adoption is fantastic, and you can do it too. And so, working with adoption.com was a great way to, help to polish at least my video storytelling, but to greatly understand, like, there is a time and a place for the different types of video production, right? So whether it is you're creating videos to educate, to generate awareness, to tell a story, or just to be informative. As a not-for-profit, you might be involved in making a public safety announcement, stuff like that. So adoption.com was a very good way for me to discover that, storytelling has a very powerful impact beyond just telling a story. It can really help to accomplish some of those other purposes, like to educate. So anyway, moving on from there, I later in my career worked with Underwriters Laboratories, and as such, we were involved in a campaign that was called the Close Before You Doze campaign. And a little background on that is that through some of the research projects that Underwriters Laboratories was doing, they discovered that having a closed door between occupants and a fire can prove to have a life-saving impact. And that was bore out many, many times that, along with the fire department arrival times and the strength and resilience of a typical hollow core door, it can really have a life-saving impact. So we wanted to share the message of closing your bedroom doors before you went to sleep at night. And in order to do that, in order to plan our messaging, we approached it in many different ways, right? So we shared many examples from fire departments who had been on scene or had taken photos after fires and had shown the impact of a closed door and what it can have in the event of a fire, to keep those products of combustion or some, superheated gases from, and lethal gases from killing you. So we created infographics to help educate the public. We created toolkits, Close Before You Doze toolkits that we, gave to fire departments so that they could help to promote these public safety messages within their communities. We also created, what else did we create? We created so many things, but basically all to generate the buzz of being able to, have that life-saving impact of doing a simple action of closing your bedroom door that can have a life-saving impact. There were many things that we did in order to educate and to share the messages, but it was really the creation of a viral video that helped drive that impact. And it's hard to plan for a viral video, but if you get a good equation going, sometimes that can you can plan for very high impact. And again, I'll go through those steps here in a minute of planning, producing, and promoting, and how we were able to generate upwards of a 1 billion impression reach, which is massive. And so at UL, we created this viral video. It's called the Dramatic Difference video. And in this video, so we had approached everything up to this point within UL as pretty informative videos, like, hey, here's what happens when you close your door, and we just show it to you, right? But I had the idea one day of, hey, what if we take a group of people, right, and we put them in a situation of, we ask them a bunch of questions about, hey, do you close your door at night, or do you think that would make a difference between, like, should it be the right thing to do in your house if you have a family, right? Because maybe the people want to hear their kids or hear the smoke alarm or whatever it is. So let's take these people, these individuals, let's put them in a situation of questioning, and then put them together and ask them some more questions, but then also show them a demonstration. And so what we did is we constructed this home that we could demonstrate the importance of closing doors, where the walls actually came down afterwards and showed a open door bedroom and a closed door bedroom, and the impact of having a closed door and how it would, and what its impact was in the event of a fire. So we created this video. We, even though I was the full-time content developer, we brought on an agency because the scope of work was greater than one person, or was greater than a one-man band. And we filmed this experience, and then it was hugely successful for the organization. Estimated over, like I said, 1 billion impressions through social media. The agency that we worked with, they made sure and had a fantastic plan in place to promote the message, and that was, a lot of it was through news organizations. So my boss and the director of the organization was involved in many interviews that were set up with organizations that were able to share the message and bring it to a different light in a different medium than would normally advertise. And so, which is another thing that's very powerful about non-for-profit is being able to leverage things like news outlets, because news outlets can be seeking for stories like this that can drive, impact for the betterment of society. So, but it was very impactful as well. So it was very influential, but it was impactful because a survey that we put out after the campaign revealed that most people that saw the Close Before You Dose video, they actually were closing their doors at night. It just stuck with them. So talk about like an awesome thing to be a part of as a not-for-profit, and how leveraging video can really help to drive your message and to have an impact. And in this video, in this podcast, which is also a podcast video, by the way, if you go to YouTube, you can watch these podcasts. But if you go to our site, and I'll use this website, if you go to videosupply.com/process, now if you go here, we talk about what we do to help brands stand out in the market. And it's, we'll break it down to its very simplistic roots here of how you can plan, you can produce, and you can promote your videos in order to have great impact. So where do you start? So with planning, you just like with anything in your business or organization, you should have a plan, right? You should have a marketing plan. You should have a brand. You should have a visual identity. You should have a look and feel about you, and you want to make sure that your video marketing messaging really connects with everything else that you do as an organization. So really, when you plan to use video marketing within your not-for-profit, you want to make sure that you have a branded look and feel, and that can be done with with color, it can be done with music, it can be done with your graphics, etc. It can be done, through consistent messaging. And you really should have your desired outcome outlined. So when you are crafting your message, whatever it is, you should really have a statement written out that says, I want this audience member to do this as a result of watching the video. And that way it can have some sort of impact. And really, and like in our last podcast, you should also be aware that you shouldn't really create a video that hits more than, one or two messages, because then you become a little bit less impactful. So by planning carefully what you want the viewer to do as a result of watching your video, you can have an impact. And what's really fun about being in a not-for-profit is you can vary the way of your messaging, right? Like I said before, you can educate, you can generate awareness, you can tell stories, you can be informative, you can create your own public safety announcements, and really you can think outside the box in how to create all these things. And you really should have fun in this creation process because of your ability to step out into all these things. It's really great. So do you want the viewer to donate as a result of watching the video? Do you want them to join your organization or your mission? Do you want them to change your character, create a buzz, etc.? And really, the way that you can speak to somebody, you really should you can really plan to speak to your audience's heart in order to move their mind. By having such a strong, powerful message, you can drive change, which is beautiful with not-for-profits. So if we talk about some powerful tools to utilize in your planning process, we can talk about subject matter experts, right? So subject matter experts, at least for me, in the work that I did with fire departments, with the work that I did with the research organizations, with me, I was able to leverage subject matter experts in order to really craft my message and to really make sure that the information was accurate, right? Subject matter experts within the Los Angeles County Fire Department, we brought on board to vet the information that we were going to be using to train, thousands of firefighters throughout the county. And so we'd bring them in, we'd bounce ideas off of them and say, hey, we're going to create this training course, and in this portion, we'll have this video and this video, but then we want your feedback on X, Y, and Z, right? And so they'd come back with their feedback, and we'd, put that into play and incorporate that into our trainings and our training videos in order to create, obviously, more powerful messaging, but also make sure that everything was accurate. So in your planning process with not-for-profits, if you are things such as like a research organization, etc., utilize the subject matter experts. Find a professional in the field that can help you craft that message to make sure that it is accurate and impactful. A lot of researchers have good ideas for the ways that you can convey a message or convey a process because, just like any professional field, they've got such great knowledge about it and can really help you in that creation process. So bounce ideas, ask questions, have them help you in your pre-production process, and in script writing so that you can make sure that you get the right lingo or the jargon down. If you're a full-time video creator or content developer in a not-for-profit organization, you should really be invested in becoming a subject matter expert yourself. Just like I was at Underwriters Laboratories, I would take time each day to be connected to news outlets within that firefighter space so that I could, be up to date on kind of the buzz or be able to speak in that field. And that will really help you with your, really any aspect of your job. If you're a content creator in that space, it'll help you with your rapport building, with your storytelling in every conversation, etc. So make sure that you are investing yourself and are truly interested and not seeing things as just like, oh, it's, there's a client, but it's, if you can become, a mini subject matter expert, it's going to help you a lot in helping to be a creator for video marketing with not-for-profits. So, and don't be afraid to think outside the box. You know, you can do all those things, educate, you can tell stories, you can be informative, you can do PSAs. You can combine all those if you want to. But you can really think outside the box, and the more you do that, the more powerful your messaging is going to be, because it will stand out. So the next step we're going to go to is produce. And let's bring back this website, this process here. So in the produce section, in the film production, you know, it needs to be professional and capture your message in a batch film, or that's what we do in batch film production to create your content. So there needs to be there are tools available to help you out and to help you produce. But some thoughts on here are basically any organization, and you probably do too, is you have a need to create content. So how do you go about doing it, right? And there are many ways that you can do that, of course. So whether you are the owner of the organization and have a phone and want to use that to craft videos, by all means, do it. It will help you to share your message, and it will be shareable. But if you are are you a full-time content developer? Do you have a budget? Commercial video production for a not-for-profit, even though a lot of commercial entities offer the discounts to a not-for-profit agency, things like commercial video work can be very costly. And then that's something that I saw with working with outside marketing organizations for our field. But sometimes it's what's needed, really. And it's one way that can really help you drive your impact. So if you can set aside a budget for high quality content, that's going to really help you, also to stand out. Along with having a professional marketing organization help you, like Video Supply, we can help you to really craft your brand message and to really help you in the content creation process and remove that headache of, doing all the planning or the production or the post-processing. We can really help you out to that process. But when you have need for several hands on deck at one particular time, or you've got limited opportunities to do something like it's an event, or you need a fast turnaround time, having a marketing company come in and help you out, or a video company, that can work the best. But if you do have a skilled full-time content developer on a fair salary, they can be extremely cost effective. For myself, I was the full-time marketing content developer for that Underwriters Laboratories Firefighter Safety Research Institute organization. And as the full-time person, I was there to do everything, like, talk to the subject matter experts, to generate scripts, to do all the planning, and then to do all the filming, and then to, help disseminate it. And so that was, it was a unique opportunity in that we were doing a lot of research often. And in doing that research, we had multiple times available for me to film things at different angles. So it worked out that they could have a full-time marketing content developer and filmmaker on board to be able to do all this, work. And so, it was cost effective to have a full-time content developer on the team. And the benefit of that too is having somebody who can be integrated into the team. Like I said, becoming a small subject matter expert. They'll know how to work with the team. They're well integrated. They know how to build a rapport with everyone around them that are in the field, and can really approach every interview or every issue with a knowledge base towards that purpose that you have of using video in your marketing plan. So yeah, as being a full-time video guy, or having a full-time video person on your team can be extremely cost-effective. So do you have content that needs, that requires the output to have a full-time content developer? Do you hire? So really what it comes down to is, if you see the need for full-time person, that's great, get them. But if you've got a one-time big event, it may be wise to loop in a commercial video production agency. So anyway, the third step in the process is obviously to promote. And how do you promote well as a not-for-profit? Well, again, like I've been saying, I think it's a beautiful thing to be a not-for-profit agency and be able to have leverage, or to have options when it comes to promoting your message, right? So don't be afraid to team up with other organizations. I'm sure this is something that you've seen with whether it's like, a run to promote cancer awareness or things like that. Usually organizations will team up in order to help promote their message or to bring awareness to something. With where I was with the firefighter organization, we leveraged many other research organizations in order to, first of all, work together, but then also to disseminate everything or to promote everything. When you promote, don't be afraid to leverage that commercial entity to bring your product to the market, whether that is a actual product or a message, right? As with anything in promoting, don't be afraid to do some paid advertising. You can buy advertising on Google and YouTube and other Facebook platforms, Instagram. You can do a lot of paid advertising that's going to help really drive people to see your message. Influencers on Instagram. I mean, the sky's the limit there. But don't be afraid to reach outside the box a little bit too. As for us at the Firefighter Safety Research Institute, a lot of news organizations were after messaging that can be, life-saving. And so a lot of news organizations came to us, and that helped us to spread our message. But at the same time, we would reach out to them, or marketing agencies that we worked with would reach out to news organizations that would then come to us to help to expand our reach and impact. So there's many things you can do. We even thought about involving celebrities every now and then. At least in the Los Angeles County Fire Department, Harrison Ford. They actually, and this was unfortunately just after I had left LA County as a video creator, they started working with Harrison Ford, and they used him, or he got involved to help promote the regional training in the greater Los Angeles region. And he was on board with several videos to help with the trainings of those firefighters. So really the sky's the limit. And when you get to planning or producing and promoting your not-for-profit videos, really you should be thinking outside the box and leveraging all that you can, and looking for unique opportunities to be able to create a powerful message. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to us at videosupply.com, and we at Content Supply, we've worked with many organizations that are very similar to not-for-profit organizations, but are also not-for-profit organizations. We'd love to help you out as well if you're a non-for-profit organization that needs any help in your marketing strategy. Go to videosupply.com/nonprofit and let us help you with your brand strategy. You can schedule a call with us through that site, and we can see if we're a good fit to work together as our team. So go to our website, and you can utilize all those tools that we have available for you, and hope to see you there. Videosupply.com. Thanks, everybody.